Na mô tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Na mô tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Na mô tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. May I pay homage to the exalted one, the holy ones, the perfectly enlightened one. Today is the Saturday, 3rd January 1998. This is the first term and the first day Buddhist philosophy course is open as Chaiya Meditation Monastery, Las Vegas, Nevada State, USA. I'm very glad to see all of you are interested regarding the Buddhism, Buddhist philosophy and meditation. So before we start our class about the Buddhist philosophy course, so we have to know about the great teachers, about the Buddha, briefly. So all of you maybe already know about the Buddha history. Here I would like to tell you about briefly, about the Buddha. Or most people who don't understand the Buddhism maybe think that the Buddha is a god. The Buddha is not God. Our Buddha was born 623 BC. At Lumbini Park in India, but nowadays they belong to Nepal. His parents was King Suddhodana, and Queen Mahamaya. His first name is Siddhartha. Siddhartha. So you have to remember that 623 BC he was born. When he was, 623 BC he was born at Lumbini Park in India in those days. Now it belongs to Nepal. It's not far from India right now. His parents, King Suddhodana and Queen Mahamaya. So his first name is Siddhartha, not Siddhartha. After class, I will correct to you for a spelling, not a spelling. Siddhartha. So he's a prince. When he was 16 years old, and he married to the Yasodhara. When he was 16 years old, Yasodhara is his cousin, his first cousin. When he was 29 years old, during his visits to the royal park, Prince Siddhartha saw the four great signs. All of you maybe saw the TV Little Buddha. Maybe already know about that. No. He saw the four great signs, namely an old man, a sick man, a corpse, and Syrian mendicant or monk. This made the Prince Siddhartha to realize the unsatisfactoriness of life and urged him to ponder deeply about renunciation. At the day he saw just the four great signs, and his son Rahula was born same day. No, his son Rahula. And then about midnight, he renounced world. I spent 6 years practicing austerities meditation to discover the truth. Now for 6 years. When he was 35 years old, about 588 BC, and he attained supreme enlightenment, destroyed all defilement and became a fully enlightened one, or becomes a Buddha. In 588 BC. When he preached, he taught the truth for 45 years. 45 years. When he was 80 years old, 543 BC, he entered Mahaparinibbana in Pali word. Now this attainment of final emancipation, or he passed away. It's the BC 543 BC. So, if you want to know about how many years the Buddha passed away, it's very easy to, understand. Just at 543, plus, and today, 1998, right? Just plus 543. So now the Buddha passed away for 2,541 years already. This for briefly, to know about the Buddha. When we study Buddhism, after the Buddha passed away, after 100 years, and then the Buddhism school of thought is divided many sections. But mainly it's roughly divided into two classes. It can be classified into two main groups as Theravada Buddhism and Mahayana Buddhism. Some they call Mahasangika. Mahasangika and Mahayana is the same. Theravada and Hinayana is the same. Now some they call, but the Theravada Buddhist people, they never speak, themselves as the Hinayana, just called Theravada Buddhism. And Mahasangika and Mahayana Buddhism is the same. So here we see two major divisions of Buddhism, Theravada Buddhism, or we can call it Southern Buddhism or Southern School. Mahayana Buddhism or Northern School. Some of you, maybe you know about the Southern School. What is meant Northern School? The Buddha was born in India, right? India is the central India, put as the center. The country is located southern India, we call Southern Buddhism. Like this, Sri Lanka, Burma, Thailand, Cambodia, Laos, because Southern Buddhism that belong to Theravada Buddhism. Otherwise you confuse that, you don't know exactly what's the Theravada Buddhism, what is the Mahayana Buddhism. The northern India, so we can see Bhutan, Tibet, Nepal, Mongolia, Japan, Russia, this we call Mahayana Buddhism, belong to Mahayana Buddhism. But nowadays some country like there's the Vietnam or Taiwan, they have two sects of Buddhism, Mahayana Buddhism and Theravada Buddhism. As Nepal also, I think they have two, right? Theravada Buddhism and Mahayana Buddhism. But Bhutan, I think, is just Mahayana Buddhism. Tibet is total is Mahayana Buddhism. And Mongolia, Japan. These are based on India, so that's we can call it Southern Buddhism or Northern Buddhism. So I would like you to know about why they call Theravada Buddhism, why they call Mahayana Buddhism. This Theravada Buddhism, according to Theravada Buddhism, everyone can attain Nibbana either by becoming a Buddha or an Arahant. Like us, we practice meditation every day. For what? For to become Arahant. It's not necessary to become a Buddha and gain enlightenment as the Buddhahood. But Mahayana Buddhism, according to this Mahayana Buddhism, everyone should become a Buddha. That's why we call Mahayana Mahayana. Maha is mean light, Yana is a vehicle, light vehicle. Light vehicle is to like to attain Nibbana, emancipation as a Buddhahood. And for the Theravada Buddhism, either a Buddhahood or just Arahant. How about all of you? You want to become a Buddha or Arahant? Either one, right? The Arahant is enough. That's the Theravada Buddhism, they call Hinayana Buddhism, right? Also, Hina is the lower vehicle. Lower vehicle. The Theravada is the conservative and the orthodox type, just follows original, the Buddha's teaching. So I would like to say the Theravada is the original Buddhism. This the Mahayana Buddhism is the liberal-minded. They wanted to add more popular elements to Buddhism. Just like they have many sutra in Mahayana Buddhism, more than Theravada Buddhism. This the two kind of Buddhism. Split, after the second Buddhist Council. After the Buddha passed away for 100 years. Here, I would like to explain to you about how the Buddha's teaching were recorded and handed down until now. So I would like to introduce the Buddhism or Buddhist philosophy to all of you. So we already have 6 times, the Buddhist Council. The first Buddhist Council was held about 3 months after the death of the Buddha. Rajagaha in India. So at that time, an assembly of 500 elder Arahants, all of them are Arahant, and recited by the 2 monks. One monk is the Ubali, it's not important so much, Another monk is the Ananda Thera. After they made recitation, so they approved by those who attend the first Buddhist Council. They don't have the book right nowadays. This depends on memorization. It's learned by heart, all the Buddha's teaching. It's not easy like nowadays. So, this is the first Buddhist Council. The second Buddhist Council was held about 100 years after Buddha's passed away in Vaisali in India too. It's the 700 Arahants just this recited, just approved by those who attend the second Buddhist Council. The first time it takes time for 7 months, to finish this first Buddhist Council, 7 months. And second Buddhist Council is last long for 8 months. The object, the purpose of the first Buddhist Council is to preserve the purity of the teaching. Second Buddhist Council is the purpose, the object was to arrest the growth of irreligion, to arrest the growth of irreligion, because some didn't believe some rule, some discipline, if they follow this rule, so the Buddha is not allowed to do that. So to protect it, to protect this irreligion, so they have to was held this second Buddhist Council, start to arrest the growth of irreligion. It's the third Buddhist Council. It was held about 234 years after the death of the Buddha. In India too, 3 times in India. At a time, it's the 1,000 monks, assembly and recite this art, this Buddhist scripture.
So they were the first two were all and they weren't necessarily all
just reconfirm, what they have already done about first Buddhist Council, second Buddhist Council. But here they have why they have to do that. If we talking about it, it's so detailed. I don't think we need to explain about that. So later on, maybe if you read the book, you can see that, many things. Why they have to just do it against about third Buddhist Council. It's the object of this third council, third Buddhist Council, is to compile the original, the Buddha's teaching, at the time. It's the reign of Asoka king. Now maybe all of you know about King Asoka, a very famous king. King Asoka, just lasts for 9 months to finish this the third Buddhist Council. After they finish this the third Buddhist Council, the King Asoka, he sends missionaries to different 9 countries to spread out the Buddha's teaching. According to the story, this the King Asoka sends the elder monk Sona and Uttara, led by Sona and Uttara, to Suvarnabhumi, is the lower Burma. Suvarnabhumi is lower Burma. And then now we can see, There's that place, ancient city in Lower Burma, Suvarnabhumi. From then, just spread to Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, or Laos, Cambodia, and Mahinda and Sanghamitta. Mahinda is a son of King Asoka. Sanghamitta is the daughter of King Asoka. And he sent this son and daughter as a missionary to Sri Lanka. If we go to India, we can see the stone pillars and rock edits were erected, inscribed by the order of Emperor Asoka to record these noble events. And the many stone pillars talking just right about this case, these events. This is the first Buddhist council, second Buddhist council, the third Buddhist council. It was held in India. The fourth, the Buddhist council, was held about 450 years after the Buddha passed away in Sri Lanka. In Sri Lanka, they write down all Buddha's teaching on the palm leaves. This first time as the writing.
That was the first time.
Yes, yeah. This the purpose, the object of this fourth Buddhist council. Is the religious practice and culture threatened by growing materialism and moral decline of mankind through wars and famines. This is the fourth Buddhist council. As 500 learned monks, they assembly and did this the fourth Buddhist council. And the fifth Buddhist council, it was held about 1871 AD. After the Buddha passed away, 2414 years. This they writing down all Buddhist scripture on the 729 marble slab. When we go to Burma, it's mainly in those days capital, now just second biggest city, mainly Upper Burma. It's known as the largest Buddhist library in the world. You can see that. Yes, the big stone, very, very big. You put like pagoda, just for 729 marble slab. You can read both sides in all Buddhist scripture. So one day, all of you can see it. Next few years. And the Sixth Buddhist Council was held about 1954 AD. At the time, the learners, the Burmese monk, 2,473, and the foreign monk, they invited for foreign monk, from Thailand, Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam, Japan, India, Nepal, whole world, about 144 monks. Altogether, it's the 2,617 learned monks. It lasts long for 2 years, to edit all this Buddhist teaching. The objects, the purpose for this Sixth Buddhist Council is to examine the canonical texts with those of other Buddhist countries and to get a purified text and to spread the Buddhism in a worldwide range. Is their purpose. This how the Buddha's teaching were recorded and handed down until now. And the division of his teaching, we can divide as the two, as Nikaya or another one as the Bhidaka. Either one we can say that. As Nikaya, they call 5 Nikayas. Nikaya is mean collection, not collection. This collection of long discourses we call Digha Nikaya. Collection of medium length discourses we call Majjhima Nikaya. The collection of kindred or connected discourses we call the Samyutta Nikaya. Collection of this gradual discourses we call Anguttara Nikaya. The last one is collection of the minor discourses we call it Khuddaka Nikaya. This will be 5 Nikaya. All the Buddha's teaching, this consists to this 5 Nikayas. And we can divide it into 3 Bhidakas. Bhidaka is mean basket. Basket is the things to be learned. And you got Vinaya, Bhidaka, or Sutta, or Suttanda Bhidaka. And Abhidhamma Bhidaka. Vinaya is briefly, you should understand, the meaning is the discipline. discipline. In Bali book, there are 8 books about Vinaya. About Sutta or Suttanta Pitaka is because in discourses have 25 books. Abhidhamma Pitaka, Abhidhamma here is the highest doctrine. We have 12 books. Altogether, 45 books. This is Buddhist scripture in Bali. When we translate into English or Burmese or Thai, it's more than that. This is in Bali. What we're going to study is the Abhidhamma. As I'm going to teach you, this is the Abhidhamma. No, it's not Vinaya, it's not Suttanta. No, in Abhidhamma. The Abhidhamma, before we study about Abhidhamma, we should understand what is the Abhi mean, Dhamma mean. Mostly the Dhamma, when you read the book, you see the many terms, Dhamma, right? Dhamma. What's mean Dhamma? Here, the words Abhidhamma, Abhi is mean excelling or distinguish or higher. So Abhidhamma is the highest doctrine. It's the teaching excelling or distinguished from the teaching in Suttanta Pitaka with regards to method of treatment. It means Abhi here is mean excelling, distinguished or higher. It's the more than Suttanta Pitaka. The meaning also very deeper than the Suttanta Pitaka. Therefore, because it's the Abhidhamma. So, when we learn this Abhidhamma, it's that anybody wants to achieve one's deliverance, not deliverance. When we study Abhidhamma and try to practice as we know, it's enables to one to achieve one's deliverance. It's the Dhamma, when you see in the book, Dhamma is the capital letter, D as capital letter is called the Buddha's teaching. The Buddha's teaching, the doctrine. If small d is the meaning small d, Dhamma is the nature, or to hold, or to spot. Different meaning, All this Dhamma is nature. You call it Dhamma. When you write small d, right? Small letter, small d. Nature, or to spot, or to hold. It's that capital D, it means the Buddha's teaching, the Buddha's doctrine. So Abhidhamma is the highest doctrine.
What are these which books are the
Suttanta. Satipatthana is the mindfulness about meditation. What is the Khuddaka in Nikaya, 5 Nikayas, right? 5 Nikaya is the belong to the last one, the minor discourses. And here is this Abhidhamma. Abhi means the meaning is the deeper than the sutra, Or in sutra, it's about this Like the five aggregate. In Sudan, the five aggregate, or this, the five aggregate, just like the corporealities, sensation, perception, mental formation, and consciousness is five aggregate. Just in brief, it's treated in brief. But in Abhidhamma, is treated is the minute detail by way of explanation. Explain in detail what's the corporealities, what's sensation, what are they? What's the perception, what's the mental formation, what's consciousness, explain in detail in Abhidhamma. That's why we call Abhidhamma. Later on we will see that. And here description of Abhidhamma. 5, right? Description of Abhidhamma. The ultimate teaching, in contrast to conventional teaching in Suttanta Pitaka. The Suttanta Pitaka is talk about man or animal or being in Suttanta Pitaka. But in Abhidhamma, it's the ultimate teaching. It's talk about realities. It's not talking about the man, the animal, the being. No. The reality is expounded in many different ways, like the mind and matter. When we sit meditation, later or gradually, I explain to you when we sit meditation, what our object, what we are seeing, whatever you understand, something like that, compare with the realities. Or when you practice meditation, is the samatha or vipassana, and by himself, very clear. So mind and matter. In Abhidhamma, mind and matter, minutely analyzed, explain about mind. Mind's the one day Jesus asked me about the mind. What's the mind, right? This mind divided into citta. That's the term in the citta. Citta is mind too. Citta, or in English they translate it as consciousness, and cetasika, mental factors. It's called mind. Yes, consciousness and mental factors, this mind. And matter also treated in full numeration. You have 28 kind of material property. Later we will study about that. What are their causes, how many groups they have, or how they arise and how they disappear. We study step by step. This explained in detail in Abhidhamma about mind and matter. The Abhidhamma is also an ethical system, because it's able to want to realize the ultimate goal, Nibbana. Because it's the explain about all reality, explain about our mind, not about our mind. It's deal with the working of the mind. Some they translate this Abhidhamma as the psycho-ethical philosophy of Buddhism. Now they have many books they write down about this Abhidhamma. Here's, I'm sorry, we don't have the book here. But in our country we have many books. Yes, what kind of book, what's the order, what they said. There are many books they have that. Maybe later we try to find, buy, order some book for all of you. This, the importance of Abhidhamma is the essential for correct and true understanding the Buddha's teaching in Sutta. When you read, mostly the book you read just the Sutta. It's not Abhidhamma. Some you don't understand that. But after you study Abhidhamma, you understand it very clear. When you listen to it or you read the book, what it's talking about, what it take from, what they try to explain about that. So you know right away. That's essential for correct and true understanding of Buddha's teaching. Otherwise you don't understand really it's about Buddha's teaching. Now except we study Abhidhamma. So when we study about Abhidhamma, it's extremely helpful for who are observe, who are study just about religion, especially about meditation. Some they said Abhidhamma is not, the Buddha is not teaching in the human world. It's thought about this Abhidhamma heaven, but because they don't understand what the Abhidhamma mean, they don't study about this Abhidhamma Buddhist philosophy book, and then they don't understand. And they say the Buddha is not taught this Abhidhamma in the human world. It's not correct, it's not correct. After the Buddha gained enlightenment for 7 years, the Buddha went to heaven, according to the story. He taught Abhidhammas to the gods of Tawadinsa, heaven, for 3 months. Now, during 7, just a rainy season after his enlightenment. And his mother right now is not female, it's the male Deva, His name is the Santusita. Santusita. It was in gratitude of his former mother. It's non-stop, whole 3 months, non-stop. But for heaven, it's not 3 months, Maybe just 1 hour, 2 hours, something like that, Because Taoins are the human being. It's the 100 years. Our human being 100 years is the 1 day for Tawadinsa, heaven. See, 100 years is the 1 day in Tawadinsa, heaven. See, for human beings, the 3 months. See, you can count it, maybe in less than 1 hour. So it's non-stop. The Buddha is human, as you know, is the human being. When it's the time for lunch, for alms rounds, came back to human world, and his disciple Sariputra, and take care food for the Buddha. Now take care of everything, and Thought the Sariputra now. I taught my mother and all divine in heaven what kind of topic, just like a topic, what kind of Dhamma. I just briefly taught Sariputra. As Sariputra, his disciple, is very intelligent monk, and he understands all in detail. He taught his disciple 500 monks. The Buddha taught in heaven for 3 months, and Sariputra, the Buddha great disciple, taught his disciple 500 monks, finished the same day. What we are going to study right now is because they have 3 versions, 3 versions. The Buddha thought Abhidhamma in heaven is very great in land, not very detailed. The one he taught to Sariputra is very brief. But Sariputra teaches disciple is neither too great nor too small. So what we are studying right now is the 3rd version. Not the 3rd version. Here is Abhidhamma. Here is the mention about that. Even the brief version, fixed with thousands of ellipses, contain 4,981 printed pages in the 6th Buddhist Council edition. What I'm going to tell you is not all the 4,981 pages. Very small, very, very small. So this 1 month, see on page 3, I think. Number 8, right? Number 8. This Anuruddha. Now, once the learned monk, he was born in southern India. He wrote one book, he called Abhidhamma Sangha, called Compendiums of Philosophy. This book is an indispensable guide to Abhidhamma. And still a textbook for beginners in Burma and other countries. Mostly in Burma, we have to study all this Abhidhamma. The Abhidhamma is popular subject of study with Burmese monks. Now, since the introduction of Theravada Pitaka to Upper Burma in 1057 AD, there's many books in Abhidhamma in Burmese literature. And when we learn Abhidhamma, in our country, we learn at night. That's why we call it night lesson. We learn at night. We turn out the light. And our teacher, teach us, try to memorize this type of consciousness, like this, the 121 type of consciousness, what they are. What's their nature, what their characteristic, what about the 52 kind of mental factors, what is the 28 kind of material properties, something like that. We talk about at night. Now to teach about at night. That's why we call night lesson. And the compulsory subject for every monk, novice and nun. Since the beginning, we start to study about this Buddhism. Just one subject, we have to try to memorize. All subjects, we have to memorize that. For me, I have to memorize that, try to memorize for 11 years, every day, try and learn by heart. Not only me, every monk in Burma, monk, novice, nun, we have to memorize all this Abhidhamma, all this Buddhist scripture, every subject. In the summertime, all the monks, or the learned monk, they teach the people, the student, the teacher at high school, at university for 3 months, some start, 2 months, depend, just every year. Did about Buddhism and Buddhist culture, and it's the Abhidhamma, Buddhist philosophy, every year. That's why all Burmese, student, teacher, they all understand this Abhidhamma. In Abhidhamma, so we will see two kinds of truth. Not two kinds of truth. According to the Buddhism, truth means reality. Now something that is true either in conventional or ultimate sense. Even says truth is not necessary to be good or lofty, This truth is meant here as the conventional truth and ultimate truth. This one we have to remember that. Conventional truth and ultimate truth. Conventional truth, because this man, this woman, something like that, It's a conventional truth. Ultimate truth, you use term as this aggregate, this basis, this element, something like that, This truth by conventional truth and ultimate truth. This conventional truth in Bali they call Samuti Satya. Samuti Satya, conventional truth, which conforms to convention or usage of the world. Like this man, this woman, this house, this car, this temple, something like that. This conventional truth. What we call is monastery, right? Before we move over here, before 2 years, what do you call it? House, right? House. This conventional truth. And we call Samuti Satya in Bali. And also we call it the Panyati. Panyati in Bali, this concept. Concept and Panyati is the same. Right? This Panyati and Samuti Satya, Bali word, the same. He has two kinds of Panyati. Nama Panyati and Atha Panyati. So before we learn Abhidhamma, Buddhist philosophy, we have to understand these two kinds of Panyati. Two kinds of truth, The Panyati is the name concept. This nama panyati, name concept, which makes things known. Name given to object. Just here we call table, right? A bricks table, just table. Just we call this chair, this table, this sofa, this pillow, this book. Is the name given to the object. We call nama panyati. This nama panyati. This name concept. Adha panyati is the thing concept, nothing concept, which make known the object, not the object conveys by the name or concept. When you see man, you see this man, this woman, or this dog. Because when you see that, the Atha Panyati, and you make the name of this dog, you know that what they are. There were two Panyati. This Panyati is the timeless. Later on we will know that in every reality, our mind, just the mental factors, this belongs to the past, or present, and the future. But this Panyati concept is not belong to any time, because timeless. Later we will see that. And here's the ultimate truth. In Bali, they call Paramattha Satya. Now, Paramattha Satya. Parama is meant immutable, or abstract. This Parama. Now, Parama Satya. This ultimate truth is that which conforms to reality. As consciousness or mind. Now, in Bali, Paramattha Satya. This immutable is the Paramattha Satya. I would like to explain to you what is we call Paramattha Satya is immutable, like the four great essential. No, that's the element of the element of extension, element of motion, element of this heat, something like that. It's not, it's immutable. Just they have their characteristic. It's not changed to something else. That's the element of earth, or element of extension. What's their characteristic? Hardness and softness. It's not changed to something else. That's the element of the motion. Just to move. Just the motion and steadiness.